Welcome the Executive Vice President of Corporate Services and Chief Financial Officer for the Chartered Professional Accountants of British Columbia, Amy Lam.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Joe and Lois, for organizing such an impactful day. I think it's going to be a fabulous day. I'm so excited to be here. On behalf of the Chartered Professional Accountants of British Columbia, CPABC, we are proud to be a platinum sponsor of this amazing event and to be introducing our first speaker, female entrepreneur Humaira Ahmed. The CPA profession recognizes that diverse leadership is strong leadership. Research conducted by our national body, CPA Canada, confirms that companies with racial, ethnic, and gender diversity are more likely to have strong financial performance. In BC, our 36,000 members bring their financial expertise and leadership to businesses and organizations every day. CPAs are in demand. In BC, 43,000 positions are expected to be created in the next 10 years. The demand for CPAs will be driven by economic growth, technology, and changing workplace needs. Becoming a CPA represents a lifetime of opportunity, whether you are pursuing the designation after high school, during your post-secondary studies, or as a new Canadian or a career changer. The CPA program prepares our future leaders, and I'm looking at over 800 of them in this room right now, to be critical thinkers, strategic planners, and leaders. These are all crucial skills for today's workplace. I'd like to now introduce Humaira Ahmed, someone who embraces new technologies, connectivities, and innovative ways of thinking. Humaira is the founder and CEO of Locale, an enterprise networking platform to connect and engage women in the workplace for support and mentorship. As a Pakistani-born Canadian entrepreneur, Humaira is passionate about diversity in traditionally male-dominated industries. Being a woman of color, an immigrant, and with a background in software engineering, she is on a mission to inspire and influence women to pursue their ambitions and navigate barriers. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to Humaira Ahmed.
Wow, I can't believe I'm up there. Thank you so much, Jill, the Vancouver Board of Trade team, for giving me this incredible opportunity to be here amongst all of us. It's especially exciting for me because the theme of this year's conference is Connect for Change, and that's what I do every single day with my work. I connect women for change. But today I want to talk about a topic that is near and dear to all of us. It's a topic that affects us every single day and has a huge impact on our lives. It's the topic of fear. While there are many different forms of fear, it comes in a variety of ways. I want to focus on two types of fear today. One is the fear of failure. It's the fear of losing. It's the fear of rejection. And most importantly, it's the fear of not being good enough. We all have been there. But I'm here to tell you that there's another type of fear that is worth fearing. And it is the fear of regret. Because it's the fear of regret that truly drives us forward, unlike the fear of failure that holds us back. Let me put this into perspective for you. I was born and raised in Pakistan. I don't know how much you know about Pakistan, but it's a very male-dominated, suppressive society towards women. My family moved when I was 20. In case you're wondering, I'm 34. So I was really raised there until 20. But growing up, I was always told what I could do, what I couldn't do, and who I would marry. Let's make this very real. At the age of 15, I was engaged to a man almost double my age, and the best part, I hadn't even seen him. Now you're probably looking at me here, I come across as confident, excited, but yeah, that was me. At 15, I was engaged. And I remember I was told there was nothing I could do to get out of this. I also had this fear of failing my parents, fear of disappointing them, and fear of not being this obedient daughter. But on the other hand, I could see my future just being thrown away. I had big dreams, big goals, big ambitions, and I was again reminded there was nothing I could do. There was one thing I could do, which I did, and it was to cry. Sounds very lame. But I would cry every single night and beg my parents to not do this. And my mom would look at me in the eye and just go study. This is the status quo. We have decided best for you. We know better. Until just 2 months before my scheduled wedding, I became really sick. I couldn't eat, I couldn't walk, and doctors couldn't diagnose what was going on with me. But one day, weeks later, I was diagnosed with acute depression. At 15, I was severely depressed, so much so I couldn't do everyday functions. So I got treatment, and I started to get better. And I was like, oh no, back to the wedding circus. But just 1 month before our wedding, my fiance called up my dad, and he said, I have this incredible opportunity. I've been applying to go to US for 4 years now, and I just heard from them. I'm moving to US. He said, but I have 2 options for you. So he gave my dad 2 options. One, we get married within the next 10 days, and best part, I get to stay with his family for 3 years, not even him. The other option he gave my dad was that we just wait for 3 years, wait for him to return, and then we get married. So I would sit in his name regardless and wait for him. Now remember me crying, getting sick? My dad, this is what he said to him. He said, my daughter's not a burden to me. Actually, she doesn't even want to marry you. So this is over. And in that instance, it was over. How did that happen? So I learned a very valuable lesson. Perseverance is key. It goes a long way. Even if you feel, and there will be times when you feel like, I can't make this change, do the only thing you can do. There's so much power in perseverance. And I can tell you that if I hadn't cried every single night, I wouldn't get sick. This was probably going to happen. Just when you think, well, great for you, Humaira, you escaped that madness. Just a year later, I was engaged again. It's the status quo. Parents want the best for you. My parents wanted the best for me. So this time, there were some commonalities, but something was different. I had actually seen the guy, and let me tell you, did not like what I saw. I thought of like how I can describe him, but it's not nice. So I had seen the guy, also 12 years older, but guess what? He had education, he had a great job, and he had money. That's what parents look for the most part. So I'm engaged again, and this time I thought to myself, oh my gosh, crying can only go so far. I probably won't get sick again. What do I do? But I was determined to not let this happen. It's really bright, really smart, really good at math. I started applying to the top engineering schools in Pakistan. And guess what? I made it. I committed to myself. I persevered. I worked so hard because that was my goal, and I knew that could possibly help me get out of this. Didn't know how, but I thought it could. So I got into the best school, and my mom called up my fiance's mom, and she told her the good news that I got into the best school. And she hung up the phone, called back after half an hour. This is what she said. This is really good. She said, so I've spoken to my son, and he doesn't want Humaira to go to school. He had reasons, really good reasons. One, she's gonna lose her complexion. Oh yeah, because you get tanned, right? Karachi, Pakistan, super hot, 45 degrees. She was gonna be tanned. Being light-skinned is the way to go. 2, she's gonna have affairs because that's what you do. I've been to school. I know what happens in schools. So she's not gonna go there to study. She's gonna end up having flings. 2. And the last one, why are you throwing your money away? She's gonna be a housewife. She's not gonna be using her education. That's stupid. Instead, okay, this gets even better. Here's what she should do. 1, she should lose weight. She should stop eating rice and potatoes because she's apparently not skinny enough. I still love rice and potatoes. 2, she should learn, this is amazing, by the way. She should learn how to make 7 different types of breakfasts every single day because I don't eat the same breakfast every day. If I have omelet today, I want French toast tomorrow. She should learn that. And the third part, teach her how to be a good housewife because that's actually something she's gonna be using. I was actually right there. My mom looked at me and she started crying. She hung up the phone, she looked at me and she said, I am so sorry, we're gonna end this for you. I was like, woo-hoo. She called up my dad, she told him everything. He came home, he called my fiance's mom, and he said, we need to talk. So she came over the same night with 10 people in full force, brothers, sisters, kids, to tell my dad and me what I was gonna do. Instead, my dad looked at her and he said, woman, this is over. He gave them back the ring, and I learned my second lesson. It is to commit to yourself. Show up for yourself. I had this fear again. You know, this has been, my parents have done this before. Oh, and let me also highlight something here. In over 50 years, there was not a single engagement broken off. Mine were the first and the second. Oh yeah. So show up for yourself because it's the most important thing you can do, and there will be times when you will think of others because as women, as young girls, we are taught to think of others before us. It's what we call empathy and nurturing. But sometimes you have to be selfish and have a plan. And the last story was, so we moved, at the age of 20, life is good. I have an amazing, amazing supportive husband, my dream man. In case you're wondering, he's Caucasian, he's great. And I have 2 beautiful girls. They're 3 and 5. So just a year after my second one was born, I had this idea for Locale. I wanted a safe space for women to connect. I had felt really isolated, with each life transition. I was like, well, there's no easy way for me to connect with like-minded women and role models. And everywhere I went with my idea, I was reminded of 2 things. 1 is how only very few startups survive. You're probably gonna fail. And 2, look at just women CEOs in tech. There's less than 5%. Who do you think you are? Probably gonna fail. So I had this fear, like if I fail, I'm gonna make other women leaders look bad because it will just validate that you're not supposed to be here. Huge responsibility. But on the other hand, I'm a mom of 2, I talk about influencing and changing. I needed to do this because if I didn't, I would regret it. And now we're still alive, almost 2 years later, and we're growing. So that's great. We also signed our first Fortune 500 client, so I'm so happy about that. So we belong here as women. I have 3 lessons that I learned: perseverance, committing to yourself, challenge status quo. How many times, we hear this, even we saw this today, we don't apply for those jobs. Men apply, and guess what? They get the jobs. We don't. Challenge status quo, and I know a lot of times it's so hard because we think, who are we? We're not good enough, imposter syndrome. But at the end of the day, think about all great stories, all the change that happens. It's never the easy stuff that influences change. That's why they tell stories that come with a lot of challenges and hardships. Challenge status quo. And today I want you to do 3 things. 1, write down a goal that you have for yourself. A goal, it could be personal, it could be professional, it could be for now, it could be for today. And 2, I want you to share that with someone here today. It may be the person sitting next to you, maybe somebody you meet today, because when we tell our vision, it starts to shape into reality. And the last thing I want you to do today, we're all gathered here. It's an incredible opportunity. Please speak up. Use your voice. There's no such thing as stupid. And I know, especially as women, as girls, we often think about, is this going to be stupid? Am I going to come across as, who am I to say all this stuff? So please use your voice, take this time, and connect with incredible change makers at the workshops just here today. And I can tell you, there will be many times in your life you will be faced with failure. It's supposed to happen. You will face rejection. I have faced so much rejection in my life, it's unbelievable. It doesn't even faze me anymore. It's going to happen. But don't let that hold you back. Truly use the fear of regret to drive you forward and do the great things in your life that you're supposed to do. And anytime you're faced with that fear of failure, rejection, think about this. The fear of regret is so much greater than the fear of failure. Thank you so much.